part of the culture of, American news too, Lauren, is that they basically decide this is the story and this is the lead and nothing will penetrate it, right? And certainly American news is a lot more about narratives, right? Good guys, bad guys, and what proves the good guy, bad guy casting that's been put on someone. So say Donald Trump, every rumour is absolutely true, no matter how unproven. Yet Biden is good guy, so every truth must be hidden if it waters down the sense of his awesomeness. To the extent where CBS on one of their Sunday morning shows had breaking news: the Bidens will bring a cat with them to the White House, and Bloomberg News is literally tweeting about the socks that Biden is wearing. Now that's cool, but you can't laugh at Sean Hannity, but then turn around and say, "Oh no, this straight news reporting, that's way cooler."
Yeah, people need their very simple narratives, especially when they're watching CNN. They're heroes and villains. There can't be nuance. They can't have a case where Trump has been accused of sexual assault and Biden has also been accused of sexual assault, because then that gets rid of that hero-villain dynamic they've set up. And it's so much ingrained within the media that you can watch. They've set up Black Lives Matter as this hero, and you'll have a CNN reporter standing there with a city literally on fire burning behind him, and he's just got the earpiece in, and they're like, stick to the narrative, stick to the narrative. And he looks at the camera. Peaceful protest here in Minneapolis today. It's madness, and I think people are starting to realize the level of gaslighting going on, but apparently not enough to sway that election, or so we know.
So we know, yeah.
I mean, it's like you think about the things that start in the States that always trickle back to Australia, whether it's McDonald's, Coca-Cola, hypercolour T-shirts, you name it. I'm that old, I remember those. Didn't own one. But yeah, absolutely. So they come here. So the question is, how long till that, the extent that we're seeing that in the US media infiltrates the Australian media?
Well, as James Morrow was mentioning, I think we saw it in part some of the lockdown coverage.
Yeah.
Right? Like think about that little ecosystem where a public policy failure led to 800 people dying and millions of people being locked in their homes. Doesn't matter whether this was your favourite politician on the world or your least favourite politician in the world, their approval rating should be 1, and that is the margin of error. But instead, it's our guy versus their guy. And again, if a Conservative politician had done every single thing that Andrews had done, do you think they would be just moving on at Channel 2, or they'd still be screaming the windows out?
No, you're absolutely right. I think the other part of that is, the cliche that fear is the opiate of the masses. It absolutely is. And if you have somebody who measures success, and we saw Daniel Andrews, crowing about this on social media, measuring success by the number of consecutive media conferences he'd had, that is not a measure of success. That is a measure of many things. Success is not one of them.
But he had a Zoom call with Santa today, so everything's okay.
I must remind him that Mark McGowan did that with the Easter Bunny back in March. It's an old trick, and quite frankly, it's a tired one. Next.
It's weird.